It's playoff time, and I was almost excited about it.
Were you almost excited?
No, I'm happy for it. I
Would
think it was a great year for most football teams in the league right now. I think we all did admirably, and next year we'll get better. I'm happy with how we did. 10-6 and missing the playoffs. If tiebreakers applied, we would be over three of those teams. So I can't be too mad.
you can't be too mad at 10-6.
No, it's a great
Especially
season.
looking at like the NFC and some of the teams that are in there.
They
Like,
still only have 6 teams with a winning record.
it's been this way since like week 4. All
It's
year.
infuriating.
All year.
It's
been
infuriating. We have to sit at home on the couch, and legally the Giants were closer to the playoffs than us. It's maddening.
at 6 wins.
Yeah.
Weird. God, the NFC East is so bad.
Damn you, NFC East.
Anyway,
But on that note, who doesn't love the playoffs? Me, not right now, but I'm still happy for it. I love the playoffs.
sure, playoffs are the best time of the year, man.
They really are. Most wonderful time of the year, right around Christmas and New Year.
Well, should we do some predictions?
Well, let's start with the most interesting one, but not for a football reason. Washington at Tampa Bay. Wait, Tampa Bay at Washington. Yes. Do you think this game will be postponed, first and foremost?
Because of what's happening right now, storming the
Yup.
Capitol and
Yup.
Trump support. Democrats dressed up as Trump supporters.
Yeah, no, I mostly just mean from a non-political standpoint. Do you think this game's going to happen when it was scheduled, or do you think some bullshit's going to push it away?
Are they going to storm the football field?
I don't know. If the Giants had won, this wouldn't be a concern. Or
Yes,
the
I
Eagles.
still think this game gets played. You would think that Tampa would just basically take care of business and win by like 3 touchdowns, but I'm not so sure.
I was thinking about this myself. I will take Tampa as a strong-ish favorite. I won't give them more than a 4-point win, though. I think Tampa has the talent. Undoubtedly, top to bottom, they're just the better team.
Okay.
Except on defense, but their defense is still great. However, Alex Smith is a pretty good quarterback, and people got to give him props for that. He
Amen.
just led them back to the playoffs. But beyond that, Washington's defensive front is fantastic, and as we all know, as it's been established many times, Tom Brady doesn't do well under pressure. So I expect them to just hit him with a lot of pressure. I expect him to not look like his, everyone loves himself. But I expect them still to win. I'm thinking like 24-20. Give it to the Bucks.
Did you know that Tampa Bay, or not Tampa Bay, the football team is actually 5-1 when Alex Smith is starting?
I did not know that. I just knew they were better when he was starting.
They're 5-1, but they started out like 0-5 with Dwayne Haskins, and Haskins just sucked.
Haskins is terrible.
was terrible, and that was Haskins' team for like the first month and a half of the season. Then Alex Smith started playing, and they started winning games. Then he got hurt. Haskins started losing games again.
I wonder who the team was that the football team lost to.
I don't remember, but
no,
I
you're right.
don't think the football team wins. However, I basically same as you. I would take Tampa Bay because they're the more talented team, and it's hard to cover that many good wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they'll win by like 30 or 40. It'll be like a touchdown.
Yeah. I think that's a fair thing. And obviously, as you can tell, we don't have our 30-second timer on this. It's playoffs. Let us talk.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next game. What do you want to talk about next? There's some interesting games.
Should we go through the NFC first?
Why
since
not?
we started? All right.
Let's talk about the least interesting NFC matchup. Bears at Saints. Good job.
Should we just go to the next game and just do the...
No, this is the playoffs. The Bears made it somehow.
I still don't believe you.
And their reward is getting crushed by Drew Brees. Congratulations. Good job. I gotta give you some respect just for being there. Like, good on you, but
They're 8-8. Though.
they shouldn't be there.
You started out 5-1, lost 6 in a row, and still found a way to claw yourself to the 7th
There's a
seed.
Falcons collapse away from being a losing team. That's why they're in the playoffs. Yes.
Yes. Anyway, supposedly your offense has been clicking. recently, and you've been scoring 30 points in every single affair.
Well, that
for the
was
last like 4 weeks.
that was broken last week against their first not dog shit opponent.
I
So,
still don't buy it. Your defense is okay, but the Saints are just on a different level. You're on a different planet than the Saints. You're like on the moon and they're on Earth right now, and they got a stout defense. Their defense is freaking amazing. They got a lot of pressure.
yeah,
And
Kamara
the
might
run
be,
game is pretty awesome right now.
He might be running Jesus.
And Michael Thomas should probably be back at this point.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
And beyond that, someone brought up to me today, like, oh, well, the Bears took him to overtime the first time. Yeah, that was in Chicago, though, and they were without Michael Thomas. Straight up.
It's probably the Saints sleeping also.
Also,
honestly.
yeah. And then pirouette. Yeah, like the Bears were 5-1, but no one respected him. And then he immediately pirouetted to, well, it's the wild card. We all know what happened last time. You're goddamn right we all do. And you know who knows that better than anyone? Sean motherfucking Payton. He's not going to let it happen again, and not to this team. Sorry.
You're not winning, Bears.
Give it the
Sorry.
Saints by at least, like, I don't know, 16.
I'd say 3 touchdowns.
I don't think that's unnecessary. And granted, the Bears' defense is fine. It's just,
I don't think it's out of the question you lose like by that much, because can your offense really generate that many points against a good Saints defense?
As far as games go this week, this is the only one I'd say 100% Saints. Like,
do you even care about it? You're just like, they're gonna win.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
and lastly, we got kind of an interesting one. We got the Rams and the Seahawks. Both teams had a lot of, let's call it momentum at points during the season.
Yep.
Both have kind of fallen off a bit, but
the Seahawks have massively.
So have the Rams.
Yeah.
And they've clawed their way back in. Give me the Seahawks in this one just because Seahawks' problem was their defense, and now they've managed to at least stop people occasionally. So
that's tough. And I'm really wonder if Jared Goff does play, like how healed is your thumb after 2 weeks removed from surgery?
I mean,
can he grip a football?
There's no way he's gonna play. It was a broken thumb. Like,
yeah, I know, but they're saying like he could play, but like with the broken thumb.
What's he gonna do? Shot put everything? Just
like, can he grip a football?
I don't think so.
I kind of want to take the Seahawks just because of that. Like, I don't expect a backup quarterback to go into Seattle and beat them. Even though I don't think the Rams are bad, like, they're still good defensively, but without Jared Goff on your offense, like, I don't know if you can win a playoff game.
I don't think they do. I think they get routed immediately. I expect this one to be like, it's similar to their score the other week, probably like 21-16. Kind of boring, but
27-21.
You expect there to be that many points?
Seahawks winning 27-21, yeah.
I don't know. But I do expect the Seahawks to win this one. I don't expect it to be stupid close, but at least, low scoring and Seahawks control the flow of the game.
I'd say that too. Like, the Rams might not even have a lead at any point.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking. But I think they'll, keep it competitive enough.
Oh, they'll try.
Oh, yeah.
They'll keep it competitive.
And their defense is a big part of why they were good this year before they kind of fell off a cliff. But, yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. So let's go to the AFC side. Which one do you want to talk about first? Most or least interesting?
Well, the least interesting, let's just get that out of the way, would be the Bills and the Colts.
Obviously. I said I wouldn't give any other team to win by 100%, but I'm going to give the Bills a solid 95% chance at winning. Come on. I mean, they're a better team. They're streaking into the playoffs. They crushed the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are better than the Colts. I'll say that outright. Phillip Rivers, when he's off, is terrible, and they ran the wheels off of Jonathan Taylor.
Dude,
that was their way of winning, and they had him run 250 yards to close out on the Jags. If you want to beat the Bills, you got to control the clock, and now you can't do that.
I kind of feel like Phillip Rivers and Ryan Fitzpatrick are really similar. Like, their highs are pretty high, but they can be pretty bad at times, too.
They both have a buttload of kids.
Phillip Rivers can be really good, but he can be so bad. Like, really bad. Like, just boneheaded decisions. And I kind of feel like he's going to make some boneheaded decisions because he's going to have to keep pace with Josh Allen and that their offense is rolling right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could stop them from scoring like at least 35 points right now. So if you can't drop at least 38, 40 points, you're not beating the Bills.
No. And the Colts even have a good defense. The Bills are hard to stop. We had the number one defense in the NFL, and we couldn't figure it out. And they were backups half the game. Like, they're striding. I don't know what you want me to say. They're good.
They look scary right now.
Yeah. Props to them, though. I mean,
I told you Stephon Diggs would work, dude. It's
Yeah.
worked magically.
It has indeed. I just don't think the Colts have a snowball's chance in hell on this one.
If they do, it would be off of, I'd say, your offense just clicking super well and just going point for point with them.
If they do, I'd call it a Bills collapse, similar to last year in the wild card round. That's the only way I see it.
Or them just choking.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Game.
The middle interesting game.
The Ravens and Titans?
Nah, that's the most interesting one, man.
Or the Brownies and Squealers?
Yeah, see, this one is interesting for all the wrong reasons. See, I would have easily chose the Browns, and now I still am, but not
Really?
easily. I had to think about it.
Okay.
The Browns are the better team. I could piss off people saying that, but they really are. It really depends on how Baker Mayfield and the game plan goes. And on that note, well, head coach is sick with COVID.
Does that concern you? Because that concerns me going into this game.
It really doesn't concern me that much because
Kevin Stefanski was smart, though. He
I
was
know.
a good coach.
But here's the thing. Do you have to do nothing when you're sitting at home, or can you have, like, a view?
I wonder if you could have, like, a view and
Exactly.
still call
Real
plays.
action, like Skype that shit. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, don't. Call this play. Same frickin' thing. It's not, you can't COVID play the game. But a coach, you can COVID coach. Exactly. Okay. So I don't expect that to be.
I see what you're saying,
yeah.
But the Browns narrowly won against Mason Rudolph and like a bunch of backups last week, though. It took them a 2-point conversion away to win that game. So
I know. I think the Browns kind of just.
I kind of think the Steelers win because I think the Browns are better, but I don't think the Browns are like that good of a team.
I really think the Browns won that game because, honestly, they slept on the Steelers. I mean, you got...
How do you sleep on the Steelers
day
in
after,
a Week 17
the
win
day
to get in there?
After they lost the week prior, the Steelers openly came out and said, yeah, we're not even starting our starting quarterback. I mean, I'd honestly kind of think that'd be kind of a gimme.
Why would you sleep on that, though? It's a win and get in, or you lose and you're not making the playoffs.
They led most of the game. They did what they needed to. They just didn't need to kill themselves to do it.
The Browns, fortunate enough that they get like most of their players back that were on the COVID list. I mean, I think they already played in Pittsburgh last week anyway, but this will be a good game. Yeah. I think it'll be very close. Watch Pittsburgh just blow them out all of a sudden after I said that, but
nah.
I think Pittsburgh wins narrowly.
It's reasonable. I just don't think the Steelers are a good team.
I
think the Browns take the lead and control it because they actually have a goddamn run game.
Neither do I, but I feel like the Browns aren't that good. Like, they're good, but they're not like...
They're good enough to beat the Steelers.
Win multiple playoff games good, you know?
The Browns, I don't think, are good enough to beat, like, most the playoff teams, but I wouldn't pick the Steelers to beat almost any playoff team. Disrespect, totally intended.
Could they beat the Bears? Could they beat the football? No, they can't beat the... Could they beat the Bears?
Nah.
Because they did lose the football team.
I'm full on disrespect right now. No. Just, no.
I wanted to say that the Steelers would be one and done. Even though they played better in the second half during the Colts, I still don't believe you.
No.
I still think your team sucks.
That is, yeah, a Phillip Rivers collapse from choking the division.
It's just... The Browns normally lose to the Steelers. Like, Mike Tomlin normally outcoaches them. And I feel like that's just what's going to happen.
Nah. They're legit a Phillip Rivers choke away from losing their division. It almost happened.
I'd rather the Browns lose. That way, if the Ravens somehow beat the Titans, they play the Chiefs and not the Bills, because I'm kind of more afraid of the Bills than the Chiefs.
So. Well, on that note, do you think the Ravens will beat the Titans in Tennessee?
I don't know if they'll win, but I think they have a good chance to win. I would say their defense is finally healthy. They finally got all their pieces back. They haven't been healthy all year from like week 6, from like when they played the Colts. Like they've been banged up. Like the last time they played the Titans, they didn't have Calais Campbell. They didn't have Brandon Williams. That's your starting nose guard, your starting D end. That's big in run defense. And their offense is on another level. Like their offense has been playing way different from that point. They're averaging like 38 points a game right now and like 300 rushing yards a game. It's insane. That is completely not what they did before. Like they choked against the Titans in week 11 in overtime, which was that hurt, but that was kind of like a defensive thing. And in the playoffs, but I think this time's different. I think they end up winning in Nashville.
You do?
It's interesting because the Ravens and Titans have played 4 times in the playoffs. Each team has won twice. The road team has won every time. Ravens are a road team.
I'm picking the Titans.
Okay.
This is my favorite matchup of the week. They match up well. Both are top 3 rushing offenses.
It's going to be fucking electric, dude.
Yeah, the Ravens defense, although you say is healthy, they're good at stopping bad teams, of which the Titans aren't. Like, look at what happened with the Browns. They allowed 42 points, a team that's very similarly built to the Titans. Ryan Tannehill's a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. The only thing that brings me pause is the Titans' defense. Like, you could argue they almost blew it against the Texans, but the Texans do have a surprisingly electric offense. And the Titans not only kept up with them and kept pace, but outpaced them. I picture a similar thing here. I think it'll be another high-scoring game. Give me the edge of King Henry. It's weird because the one thing the Titans don't really have a good thing of is a pass rush. But against the Ravens, you don't need it. Honestly, the more people you have crash at Lamar Jackson, it makes him harder to contain. And based on that, I think the Titans just hold the slightest of edges. It would not surprise me at all if the Ravens won. I think this is the most interesting game of the wild card.
I think this one is a coin flip.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is a 50-50. But what you were saying earlier, what the Browns did to the Ravens, like I said, dude, like they had linebackers playing corner in the middle of the game because everyone was hurt. They had like 7 starters out in the backfield that game. Like, look at what they did to the Browns in week 1. They allowed 6 points.
Right, but the Browns weren't striving at that point. Like, look what
they
allowed
Nick
30
Chubb and
points.
Kareem Hunt, and they know they were a good running team.
They allowed 30 points to the Titans. It's enough to make me pause. It's enough to make me think maybe the defense isn't as good as you're saying, because there have been a lot of bad offenses they played against. Bolstered up by the NFC East, undoubtedly. And the Steelers. And the Bengals. I think this one is like 41-36 Titans. It's more or less a gut feeling, but no disrespect. I think it'll be a good game.
41-0 Ravens. All right.
Yeah, okay.
Not really, but...
on that note, hopefully, I might put $20 on every game this week. What do you think? Every playoff game we get wrong, we take 2 shots?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right on.
All right. See you guys on the Picks of Pain.
All right.